Banks. Is Dr. Banks in here? That's you. Dr. Banks will be doing our invocation and our pledge of allegiance.
Let's pray. Father, we thank you so much for these that are here representing various businesses around our community. We do pray that you will bless the community. Pray, Father, that we'll have strong families and strong businesses, a safe place in which to raise our children. And we thank you for the spirit of cooperation and just the joy that's in this room. And I pray that each of these businesses might have your blessing upon it. Be with our time here today. May it draw our attention to you. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So I'd like to thank Yanni's and Seth for catering this feast. Ideally, I wish I could have cooked for you, but I am not much of a cook, so it's really a blessing that I'm not. Seth has had a death in the family, so please keep him in your prayers. See some kind words to him. It looks like Yanni's is open and ready for service. Now work your way through and grab some fruits. Welcome, Kathy Schlund.
Thank you. Let me see if I can get this. Oops. I'll step back instead. Well, thank you so much for having me here today. I'd like to thank Linda for reaching out and inviting me today. Julie for helping me with all of the background information. Thank you so much, Carol, for the introduction. And I'd also like to thank Dr. Jane and the group, Internal Medicine, for sponsoring us today. How many here know exactly how they get the successes that they do? How many here actually get the successes that they want? How many even know what you want? Well, today what I hope that I'm going to cover is looking at the fact that there really is an exact science. There is really a way to get what it is you want. Whether it's abundance in everything, it could be in your happiness, contentment, all the money that you need to get your outcomes that you want. Maybe it's a relationship. But one of the things that's fascinating about this is there is actually a law. There is actually steps that when you take these steps, you will get that outcome. As Henry David Thoreau wrote, that most people lead lives of quiet desperation and go to their graves with their songs still in them. And as Carolyn pointed out, that's not okay with me. And it shouldn't be okay with you. And many here have children, and it's not okay that your children and your grandchildren might lead that kind of a life. But there's really, it starts with some awareness. And expending great energy, but not actualizing your full potential is what happens with a lot of people. But when you come to understand that there are 7 key elements to reaching your full potential, then you're going to go, oh, there is? Even people who are really, really successful don't even realize when you ask them, how'd you do it? They never really can say exactly how it is they do it. They're always missing a little something, but they just know that they do. So there are action steps that we're going to go through today. Let's talk a little little bit about leadership. Most of the people in this room have some form of a position of leadership, don't you? Whether it be leadership in your business, leadership in your company, leadership in your family, leadership in some kind of an organization. And we believe that that leadership is that, okay, you've got the person at the top, they're the leader, they push it down, and then they push it down from there. How many are used to that kind of a thought process? I'm here to tell you that it's a lot different than that. When you're talking about leadership, leadership goes in all directions. There are times that some people take a step in one direction, they're now in charge of this, someone else is, and it's heading back and forth and back and forth. But the most important piece is that we are all leaders, no matter what or where our position is. And how are we all leaders? We have to start with being able to lead ourselves. We can't be looking to someone else all the time. If you ever look at the elements of a good leader, they know that they know that they know. And so how is that true? Well, they know themselves. They start with knowing themselves. And they have this energy about them. And so everyone, no matter what your position is, even if you are a street sweeper, even if you are the janitor, we look at it and I say the janitor, I don't mean that that's the janitor, but how many organizations can exist without the janitor? You know, it's the worker bees, but they have to know that they can lead themselves and they can walk through. And as I was talking about the ideas of that energy, Albert Einstein said that everything is energy. And so that's all there is. And this is not a philosophy. It's just truth. So let's talk about the laws of energy. That's where we're going to start. A good old battery. This is a car battery. So we have to have a source of the power. A generator. The next step is that we have a fan. But next, we have to have it connected somehow. We've got to get that energy from the battery to that fan. But it doesn't stop there. It has to come back around. So we got a flow of energy. And with that energy then, if we don't have some kind of insulation, those wires are going to short fuse. You're not going to get the energy to where you want it to go. Interestingly enough, this concept of having a source, an outcome, the energy flowing from the source to the next, and then the energy coming back and having insulation, it's really no different than what happens in the human body. There are 4 pathways. The pathways are positive flow, where you get what you're looking for, you turn it on and it works. Then there's where, if you haven't connected those batteries properly, you're getting a negative flow, and what's going to happen? What you didn't want to have happen happens. And then if you don't have those cables set properly, you're going to get nowhere. So either the negative to positive are reversed, or the positive and the negative are reversed. So you've got 4 potential outcomes here. One's positive, one gets you where you want to go. One's going to burn things up, and you're not going to get what you want. And then there are 2 outcomes that are like, nothing really happens. So if we apply this to the human body, the human experience, the first one is we get what we desire. The second position is we get a lot of what we don't desire, what we don't want. Then we get no outcomes, in which we're either stuck in delusion or we're stuck in fear and doubt. I see a lot of heads up and down. Okay, there are times I really got what I wanted. There are times that I keep getting what I don't want. Then there are times like, am I delusional? Or there are those times where we're in that one, and three of those actually lead us to quiet desperation. So let's talk now about how that human energy model works. We start with our generator. It's us. All the human potential. We have both ourselves and we have all that we know, all that we want. We got it all in us. And we can just be sitting in that chair. And until we either we're hungry, or we're thirsty, or we want to turn the television on, we're just alone. No matter what we know about ourselves, we have our strengths, we have our values, we have our why. But until we know what we want out there, that outcome, until we have crystal clear, until we know exactly what that outcome is. I want that wonderful Greek food that's in the other room. Until I can picture and taste that, and this is what I want. It's still not going to get me what I want, is it? I have to have that desire to get up and start moving. I have to start having an application and action. That action that is consistent, it's disciplined, it's courageous, it's happening every day. And we get out there, we want what we want, but we can see what we want. But what do we want in return? This is probably the hardest thing that people have to really understand and really work on is, what do I want in return? And we've got to be able to say with clarity, with appreciation, that some of what I want is money. Why am I in business? I do want money to come back so that I can now move forward, so that I can fill in the blank. But what else do we want? We want appreciation. We want to know that what we're doing for others, what that value is, that outcome we're looking for. We got to know when we got to say, hey, I really, really, really do want admit that I want some appreciation. You don't have to blab it out or anything else, but you have to know and recognize in yourself what it is that you want back in return. I want some recognition on whatever level that is. When people say, I work in the holistic community, and they are notorious for saying, oh my gosh, I just really want to give this out. Well, what do you want in return? Well, if they want to give me some money, it's okay. No! What do you want in return? I'm just learning. So I just want input back. That's the first step. Then yes, I want some input. I want to know, I want an evaluation to say, hey, what is going on here? But I have to really recognize what it is I want in return and not be afraid of it. And say, okay, and that return, if you will, is considered your attitude. Attitude, yes, it impacts what's going out and that application and that action. But what's my attitude? Is it gracious? Is there gratitude? Or are you doing it like this? And no, it doesn't matter what that outcome is, especially if it's in a relationship. This kind of a return is not going to work real well, is it? And how many of you get that sometimes in your personal relationships? Or how sometimes, when am I giving that? When am I giving that attitude, if you will? So we've got this, but what about the insulation? We have to have a faith, a belief in, or if you will, trust in ourselves. That's the first thing. That's our first insulation. Believing in ourselves, believing that I can do this, believing that I deserve this, believing that I know this, believing that I'm good enough. The second piece is believing in others. Because we certainly can't do what we want to do without other people involved, whether it be a customer, without it being another person in a relationship. All of these pieces are part of it. And then a belief or a faith in a recognition of a generative force. Now I know that I'm guessing here, a majority of the people in this room have a belief in God. And that God does, that there is a generative force out there. And even if you're atheist, most atheists even believe in nature. They believe that the world, most people do believe that the world is round. And that from night, we do get day. That we can count on something. We can count that the sun will come up tomorrow, might not be here. We might not be to see it, but it is out there. Or nature. That there are 4 seasons. That there is a rhythm and a rhyme to things. So when you put that all together, those are 7 of the pieces. But there are 2 more pieces that most people don't understand that's really important. And that is belief or a money mindset. We all have a money mindset, no matter what it is. And whether the mindset is having to do with, I don't think that money comes to me easily. Money doesn't grow on trees. The money is the root of all evil. That's a mindset we have. And then we have our skills at money management. Because there are people that can bring in, rack it in the dough, they're bringing in all the money. But if they don't have the right money management skills, it's just going right on out the door. And not in ways that we determine that it's going back out. So these 9 principles, but the 7 we're going to focus on, are really what's called the law of abundance. Not the law of attraction. We're going to get to that in a minute, but this is the law of abundance. And this process, these 7 pieces that go into creating your human potential, as you recognize each of these different pieces, you're going to come to realize that, yes, I can, no matter what it is, get the outcomes that I choose, that I really desire, with the return and the flow of everything. Whether it be a relationship, whether it be in happiness, whether it be in your financial world, in your business world, it doesn't matter where it is. Using these 7 pieces, or when you're not getting your outcomes, one of these 7 pieces will, you go, oh, right there. Am I really crystal clear on what I want? Is what I want in alignment with what I believe about myself? Is it in alignment with my desires? Is it in alignment with my values? Because our values, our own personal values, do not get different when you walk into the business. And if they are separate and different, alignments won't happen and outcomes will happen in a negative way, and which is what we're going to talk about now. So just as we were talking about the energy and the flow when it comes to the motor and a generator, we had 4 different places where it could go awry. And so we talked about the positive flow. So let's talk about what that negative flow would look like. The negative flow is having to do with stuff that getting what we don't want. And it seems we get more and more and more of what we don't want. Because in the generator, we're really not sure. We're not really sure what we want. We're not so assured of who we are. What do I deserve? What do I want? What are my values? What is my why? What's my purpose? And then we work, something's flipping upside down there, sorry about that. But then our outcomes. We can't seem to be able to focus on that positive outcome. We keep talking about what we don't want. I don't want that financial mess that I'm in. I don't want that spouse or that relationship that's really ugly. And so all we can see is what we don't want. And we see what we don't want. We don't have any disciplined behavior to get to where we want to go. So if we don't have disciplined behavior, well, that would make sense, because how do you discipline yourself to get what you don't want? You know, you just like every which way. And then we're so focused on what we don't want, we never really said what we do want. How do we want it to come back to us? Our attitude sucks and everything else is going on. That's, by the way, that's a technical term. So what we end up doing is getting more of what we don't want. Yeah. More and more of what we don't want. Although there are a few these days that seem that that's what they want. I don't know. On Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoon, but look at that attitude. I don't know. I got rid of those kids long ago. The next piece I want to talk about is the next model where there's no flow is based on that law of attraction. And in the law of attraction, you have your generator, you have the person that just knows what they want. They just know what they want. And they kind of know how they want it to come back to them. But there's no action. It's here, it's mine. But there's no disciplined, courageous, consistent action. So really what they are is they're stuck in delusion. But then the next piece is, okay, I think I know what I want. I don't really have a lot of my courage. I don't really know that I can do this. But I'm going to take actions to get where I want to go. But that I don't deserve. I don't deserve what's coming back to me. I'm not sure. No, I'm not sure. I know I don't deserve good things that happen to me. And whether that be from our experiences as a child, whether it be from some of the business failures, or maybe it's not, we don't have a belief in ourselves. Maybe we don't have a belief in others. Maybe our belief in our God, our generative force, has gotten really blocked by something. So that's when we are really stuck in fear and doubt. And those are the different situations that now lead us to that place of quiet desperation. And all of these things, how did we know we're even in any of this until we understand where this is? But we really can have actualization and full possession. So let's go next to, what did that look like, that positive flow? We have our generator. We know our strengths, we know our why, we know our values. We know what we want. I can see it, I can taste it, I can feel it, I know what that looks like. I'm going to get up and I'm learning, okay, what are the courageous actions that I have to do? What are those pieces? What about that discipline? I don't know about you, but sometimes that's my tough one. Being consistent in that disciplined action. And saying, okay, I know what I want. Okay, I know how I want to get it back. I want it to look like this. I want it to look like this with my clients, with my customers, with my end users. great attitude of generosity. I have that attitude of gratitude. I have a belief in myself. I have a belief in others. I have a belief in that generative force. And so how do I know which of these areas am I falling down in? How do I know? Well, this is a gift I'm giving to you. And that is something called the Success GPS Survey. It's a quick 10-minute little survey online. And you can go in and see there's questions around each of these 7, actually 9 areas when we're adding in the money mindset and the money management. And when you look at, we'll take a look at that. That's where we're going to go in a week and a half. As we're going to take a look at these different areas, and everybody has an evaluation form as well as a little note on their table saying, yes, I want to do this, or I just want to take the assessment, and then if you can't come on the 28th, then I'll spend 30 minutes with you on the phone, and we'll go through and point out these different areas. We'll talk a little bit about that. It'll take about 30 minutes over the phone. And then next Thursday, what we're going to do is look at those positive energy path results. We're going to gain a clear understanding, because I can tell you that the very first law is clarity. I get clarity around who I am, clarity around where I'm going to go, clarity around what do I need to do, clarity around what do I want in return. Because in the first law of learning, it's awareness. I can't fix what I don't know. And I don't know what I don't know. So that's where we start, is getting some awareness and clarity around those pieces. And of course, the second law of learning is repetition. And so within the positive energy path, we're going to take a look at all of this. Because when you start looking at this and looking at yourself and going, okay, where am I doing it? What am I doing? How am I doing this? Then what will happen is you're going to become so sure of yourself, no matter what your position is. No matter where you are in any food chain of any organization within the family and that, when you know that you know that you know, there's a level of confidence about you. And it doesn't mean that you have all the answers. It doesn't mean that you know everything, but you just have that self-assuredness that's going to be able to step you into anything. And you're going to be able to say, okay, yeah, here I need help. Yeah, I need to ask for something here. Yeah, I need to learn something over here. Hey, there are certain pieces of things that I'll leave to somebody else. I know my weaknesses. And I know it's much better when someone else can take care of it. And so, knowing that about ourselves and being able to admit, hey, I don't know, hey, somebody else is better at this. Here, do this. I'm going to find the right person. Shelley? We had a conversation earlier today. I'm like, oh yeah, I don't do that. You're the person for me. Okay? And so, when you have that clarity and you know, that's when you get to step into leadership. Leading yourself helps others to lead themselves. And no matter where your position is. So next, what we're going to do in the workshop, you'll have your Success GPS, but then we're going to go through and take a look at, and if anyone's not going to be able to be here, you can check on the forms to say whether or not after you go over the Success GPS, I will send you this little worksheet that will, got it going? Maybe next? It didn't show up for some reason. But there's a worksheet. I guess you're going to learn it and see it when it's a secret worksheet. And you only get to see it when you come next week or after. But actually, when you're achieving your peak potential, it starts with awareness. And as you become aware of what you know and what you don't know, you move into understanding. Understanding will reach a level of acceptance. From acceptance, We move into kindness. And then from kindness, our relationships grow. And from our relationships growing, we improve those relationships. And that's when teamwork grows. Because we are not in our own vacuum. It takes teamwork to make it happen. So thank you, everyone. So if you would take a minute to fill out the evaluation forms and let me know if I'm here. Thanks again.
She'll be able for you. And someone's going to do that picture. So, thank you. I'm going to go a little bit off script. We have a special, someone that we'd like to honor. We could get Miss Julie to come up. Gosh, she didn't know this was happening. Yes. Surprises. So, on behalf of the board, we'd like to offer you this small token of our appreciation and thanks. Our chamber continues to thrive and grow because of your hard work and support. We couldn't do it without you. And we really take advantage of her at every turn. So this is due. We know the gifts that you bestow on us as our executive director are truly priceless and a simple thing to yourself. So I'd like to take a moment to introduce Dr. Jane Sadler. She's our February luncheon sponsor, and she's been kind enough to bring her staff with her today, so we're excited to see all of them. As one of our new members, she'll have a ribbon cutting after today's program, so please feel free to stick around.
That was a nice introduction. My name is Dr. Jane Sadler, and I'm with Signature Medicine North Garland. We are a concierge team. I'm going to first introduce you to Gina over there. I sound like a game show host. Gina is manager extraordinaire. She's our team. And then a big round of applause for Elizabeth and Tony. Don't be hiding. Where are you, ladies?
They have to get back.
What? Oh, you mean we have to work?
We have to take care of
I thought we just had fun. So Gina and I and Tony and Elizabeth, we are, like I said, we're a concierge team. We're Baylor Scott White Signature Medicine North Garland. We are 24/7. That means my patients have my phone number. I am practicing medicine the way my mother practiced medicine as a family doctor. I go to the hospital. We have in-room lab draws, same-day appointments. You call half-hour appointment minimum, 1 hour or more physicals. We have patients that drop by our lounge. We don't really have a waiting room, and they just like to talk or come get a snack. And they're the best Sadler snacks around, I'll just say that. I take care of babies all the way up. I have a 2-year-old. I have 2 patients in New York, 1 in Germany. You don't have to be close. Kessler Park, Highland Park, Lucas, and Plano. I am here. I'm Dr. Jane. I'm a health blogger, writer, author. Did write for the Dallas Morning News. I've appeared in Nat Geo, and I try to really know what I talk about, I promise. I'm currently being asked to write for the Saxy News. You'll be seeing my article twice monthly in addition to some other local magazines. At Dr. Jane Explains. drjaneexplains.com is my website. Please feel free to visit. My book is back there if anyone's interested. It's Open This Book and Say Ah. And it's a book I wrote a few years ago with some of my favorite writings from the Dallas Morning News. I would like to give 20% of the proceeds back to the chamber. And that's it. I am taking new patients, Medicare. We have a membership fee that is once yearly, but it can be divided in quarterly payments. It's a latte at Starbucks a day, and it's worth it, and our patients love it. But anyway, this is our vote, and if y'all have any questions, please come up to Gina or I afterwards, and we'd be happy to answer them. Thank you so much.
We're always trying to raise money, so.
I have a little slide presentation.
Can I do my slides real quick? It'll take 2 seconds. How come we didn't do this? I don't know, what were we thinking?
I was while you're talking.
Because I know, that's always when I talk too much and we spend so much time. So it's personalized care is our specialty, 24-hour. We have little wallet cards that show you're a member, and urgent health care alerts, hospital visits. Also, when you have a need, a specialist appointment, you're not going to wait 3 months to see a dermatologist. I call your specialist, I talk to them. I coordinate your care. I do cosmetic services, I do Botox. I also do Botox for migraines, which is very great. It's covered by most insurance companies. We also do hair restoration with platelet-rich plasma, which is using your own blood injected in the scalp. Great effects for women and men. I probably do more women than I do men. Great results. Next slide. So we are Signature Medicine. We are personalized care. Next slide. And same day appointment with Dr. Jane. It's me. So many times, 20 plus years of practice in this community, my patients would see me, tell me they were my patients, but that they never got to see me. It's me. And Baylor Scott White Signature Medicine, North Garland, we can take time to manage your care. These are supposed to be animated. I don't know why they're not animated, so maybe, oh well, we'll figure it out next time. So in-room lab drawing, you don't go to a lab. We actually draw the blood in the room, and Tony and Elizabeth are amazing. We do cosmetic Botox, I talked about this. Also do microneedling, skin pen, vampire facials. In-house radiology, we have touchstone imaging downstairs, MRI, CT, mammogram, X-ray. You have priority imaging, your own little waiting area. It's really nice. And don't let the swine flu get you. Stay out of the hospital, but if you are in the hospital, I'll come see you. All right. Give the gift of care for someone who has everything. What do you give them for their birthday? You give them a gift of care from Signature Medicine. Baylor Scott White Signature Medicine, North Garland, Dr. Jane Sadler. Thank you.
So we'd like to acknowledge any of our city and state officials. Would you like to stand? We've got Betty Spraggins and Don Riley with the council. We've got Maggie Smith with the Congressman Van Taylor's office, Mike Castro, city manager, Susie Quinn, the secretary, and Taylor Prentice, the IT director for Murphy. Do we have any first-time attendees this week? We have a couple. Would you like to stand up and tell us who you are and what company you're with?
Do you have any shipping, printing, faxing, policies?
Fabulous. Glad to have you.
Hi, I'm Carol Lee with So What. That's my business name. I sew for people. I do alterations, embroidery, I teach sewing, and I design clothes. If you need anything, call Carol Lee on your Gap, and I create and design one stitch at a time.
Marcus Baxter. We just opened up a clinic with Naval Consultants in Texas. We're right off Brandon 544 behind Christian Brothers, ACI Physical Therapy, and we're accepting new patients.
I'm Galen Cardwell. I'm working with Mary Pat on the Veterans event coming up March 22nd. And on Cardwell Communications, I can help you guys with any marketing, Facebook, social media aspects. Give me a holler.
That's it. So Julie has some couple minutes for us.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to see you all here. Despite the rain, I'm glad you came to join us today. I did want to thank the Board of Directors for that unexpected appreciation gift. I really appreciate that, so thank you. So just some updates from the Chamber, just reminders for anyone who's not aware of our weekly, monthly, and different annual events. Every Thursday morning, we have a networking card exchange. It's held Now we've moved to the Murphy Community Center due to the Murphy Activity Center being under some construction. But we are at the Murphy Community Center from 8 to 9 a.m. every Thursday morning. And that is a free event. Please come join us, check us out. You'll meet some of our regular members and new people each time. You can have coffee and breakfast treats. And we also want to appreciate our sponsor for the month of February. David Mandela was secured by them as sponsoring that event. February 28th, Kathy Schlund referenced, she will be expanding upon her topic that she talked about today. So please sign up for that event. It is live on a registration site. It's going to be like a lunch and learn, and that will be held at the Murphy Community Center as well, 11:30 to 1. But you'll have more time to get into the topic and complete some activities that she referenced today. So I encourage you to get signed up. That is a free event for our members. So again, it's a membership benefit. So please sign up. And anyone who is not a member, if you have a friend that wants to join you, it's $5 for the community. And you can pre-order your lunch and have it ready for you when you arrive if that's what you'd like to do. Also, on February 28th, we will have a ribbon cutting for one of our new members, Foot and Ankle Consultants of Texas, and they introduced themselves. They're going to be cutting their ribbon at 4:30 at their location at 412 Village Drive in Murphy. So if you can join us for that ribbon cutting, we'd appreciate it to welcome our new member and celebrate with them. Again, that'll be 4:30, February 28th. Next month, we will have our luncheon on March 19th, and we'll be here at Murphy Road Baptist Church, 11:30 to 1. Our speaker will be Eric Gomez of ACE Credit Consulting. He's going to talk about 10 credit myths everyone should know. And we will have that program catered by Nikki's Italian Bistro. So registration will be live soon. Please get signed up for our March luncheon. And following that program, we will have a ribbon cutting for So What. Carol Lee introduced herself as well. She's going to have a ribbon cutting following that program. And also on March 30th, Murphy Chamber of Commerce will host its 9th annual Spring Fever event. This event will be presented by Republic Services. It will be held in the Lowe's parking lot from 10 to 4. There are sponsorship availabilities. If you're interested, contact me. But it won't be an event that you will not want to miss. It will be our premier vendor booth event, and we will have multiple musical performances. We'll have a petting zoo, a car show, and a variety of booths to shop. So please don't miss that event. If you have questions, please let me know, and you can get signed up as well on our website. And that's all I have right now.
Do you have something for us for scholarship?
Yes, I do. Can you put that, that's what I'm asking to change and stuff. You've probably noticed these on your tables. If you have any excess change or wrinkly, nasty money, Scholarship Foundation might have it.
Our table's already down.
Huh?
Our table's already down.
See, you're always ahead. Good job. Couple things, Scholarship Foundation has been busy. We are in a period now where kids can apply. Redesigned our application. It is now at the chamber, www.murphychamber.org. Scholarship link. We redesigned it, got it down to one page. It's available now. The period for sign up is 2/1 to 4/1. So if you know any really outstanding Murphy grads, encourage them to apply. Can't win if you don't apply. We're going to get 6 $1,500 scholarships, but they have to be a Murphy resident. Otherwise, it doesn't matter what school they go to. And we're trying to have a little lean, maybe to encourage trade school, vocational school students this year. If we get really strong applicants there, we'll really consider that. And we're going to have a booth at Spring Fever. What's it called? Ladder toss? Ladder golf. But Scholarship Foundation is going to be involved with the Spring Fever event. We sure appreciate any support. We're looking for, I know, prizes and different aspects of it. So if you have some time or some stuff that you think you might be able to utilize, we sure appreciate your taking this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Need the bucket with all the... That's a bucket. We're part of the bucket today on the way in.
Ben, you got your card in there?
No, darling.
Put your card in there?
Yes, I really do. I put in 5.
That's down from usual.
You might need this today. So stay calm.
So now, those of you who have been multiple winners, this is a new variation. New and improved.
Julie Cardinal?
They said the same thing.
Signature Medicine Dr. Snapp's office has donated several gifts for the raffle today. Thank you.
Ed Williamson.
That's what happened. Sit back.
Brenda Love. Karen Cheney. Be on our chamber website, on the front page of our website for 30 days. Yes. Well, thank you guys for coming. It's good to see everybody here, and we'll see you again next month.
Great.
We have to do the print class, so be sure and stay for our everything.
Hello, everyone in the room here, over here.
Come on to the party. We have
The bin section. We'll have to show you. I'm John. Yeah, there you go.
All right. You're ready to go shake it. Okay.
Julie, I can't see you. Can I give you guys? Can you really see me? Just over just a tiny bit. Yep, thank you. Okay.
Mark, look tall.
Yeah, good. Yeah, go even better. If you go right here.
Perfect.
There she is.
There were
Thank you.
Reach it a little bit tighter. If you don't mind.
Tiger. Don't be afraid. We don't have germs.
You need to buy me dinner first.
Thank you.
Okay, here we go. Everybody, 1, 2, 3, cheese, cheese. John, move to your left. Yep. Okay. One more. Okay, this time I'm gonna count 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
One slice.
Okay, 3, 2, 1 slice. Okay, we're gonna take it to Shingle Shot. Okay, no.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Okay.
Yeah.
I ran around the salon for half an hour.
Did everyone get a chance? So, what?
Yes.